Hey, this is our bedroom. As you can see, we have a green wall, but that's about it. It's pretty boring. It's just been neglected. I painted this wall quite a while ago, and I always had plans to do more to it, but it just haven't happened yet. And there's a lot of other little things I would like to do to this bedroom, but there is one thing that has been bugging me ever since I moved in here, and let me show you. It's our mismatching side tables. This isn't even a bedside table. This is just a drawer unit that I had in my previous apartment. This is literally just a piece of plywood on top of a drawer with a little tray. It's not great. So in today's video, I want to fix this. So we have this stunning mid-century original dresser, and we absolutely love it. And this is kind of our style. It's the warmth, it's the mid-century. I'd like to make some bedside tables that's gonna match this. Now I was a little nervous because I've never done that kind of furniture before, so I made a mock-up. Let me show you. So instead of this, it's going to look a little bit something like this. So this is all styrofoam. It's not the best material to build out of, but it has been so helpful to just make a scale model. And I ended up changing a few things as I was working on it from my original plan, because once seeing it, it kind of helps you with your design choice. So if you ever are nervous about building a piece of furniture, I really recommend this. I went through a few iterations with the legs, but in the end, I ended up going with these ones, which I really like the profile of. And this is kind of inspired by this old mid-century bedside table that cost like so much money. So that's my inspiration for this. Hopefully, it'll turn out the way I want it to. So for this build, I'm actually using this old table that was donated in my building, and it is so beautiful, and it has these little bow tie inlays that I want to incorporate on the top of the table. I only have so much of this, so I won't be able to build a shelf out of this, but most of the other pieces I can build as long as, nothing goes wrong. All fingers crossed, because this is a more difficult build than any of my other ones, so I'm just hoping it's gonna turn out. So are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's build this.
I've absolutely fallen in love with this piece already.
This is such a beautiful wood. I'm so excited to work with it, but I'm also nervous because I'm going to have to plane this out to make it somewhat straight so I can get a straight table. I don't know how thick it's gonna end up, and I need to make sure that all of them are the same thickness. And I'm using the router method to straighten it out because I don't have a planer. Let's set it up and let's get messy. Okay, it's all planed. It was so messy. I did not enjoy it. Last time I really enjoyed it. This time it was just so messy, and I felt kind of stressed the whole time over the mess because this is a shared workspace, so I don't want to create like a massive mess. It took me like most of the morning, most of the afternoon. Is now 3:40 and I'm eating lunch. I cleaned up the entire workshop. I showered because I had sawdust in every nook and cranny. I'm telling you, it was so messy. I know that a planer, like a thickness planer, is messy too, but like this is like flings everywhere, and I don't know if I can do this again in this workshop. It doesn't feel right. So we'll see, but at least I got all of these 3 boards fairly straight. I lost a lot of thickness. I'm still okay with it because they were really thick to begin with. But the worst part is I lost the little bow tie inlays that I was so excited about, and I'm so bummed. The amount I had to take off to make these straight was enough to lose them. I was so excited about them. So I'm really, really bummed about that. It's also really hard with this method to get them the same. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. Right now I feel a little bit defeated. I'm very tired. I'm very hungry. So I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to go down and just pack up and call it a day and start over Monday with a little bit more energy. So I'll see you then. Okay, everything's been sanded yesterday. It looks great. Still bummed about losing the bow tie details, but you know what? It is what it is. It's still beautiful wood. So today is the day that we go downstairs and cut all the pieces. All fingers and toes crossed that nothing goes wrong with the cutting, because I don't have any extra wood. So if anything gets messed up, then it's not great. Wish me luck. Let's go and cut some pieces. This is my problem child, because it has this, which will be on the inside anyways. I need to figure out if I want to be like side inside, or thinking the top inside, because that's what you're never really going to see, if that will actually work. So if this is the top, it'll be pretty close to the edge. It'll be something like this. This will then be the front, and this damage bit will be faced backwards. And then I'm going to put the 2 side pieces here, and then this is going to be leg. Here is going to be the bottom pieces, because I'm not going to do like a full solid bottom. It's not needed. The drawer is going to cover it up, so I'm going to do like a piece in the front, and I'm going to do a piece in the back. That's my plan. So I think it's going to work out. And you know what, like I keep telling myself that even though this wood feels extremely precious, it was also free. I spent 0 money. If in the end everything just goes wrong and I mess up and I don't get nice side tables out of this, then I didn't waste any money. I can always find another old table and try again. I mean, let's do this. The dust collector has now been changed to a Drano. Don't ask me, it's not mine. Okay, first cut. Let's do this. Nice. Okay, second cut. Had to do the same. Oh, sweet. This is such nice wood. It's time to do the angled cuts, so the 45-degree cuts. To be honest, it is just after 4 and I'm crashing, so I'm gonna go upstairs and grab some treats so I get some energy back, so I can do this with a clear head. Okay, breakdown's over. Time to make some tricky cuts. Okay, so what I need to do is, this piece is going to have 45-degree miter edges for the box, but I'm also going to do 45-degree bevels for the front of the cabinet. Not a cabinet, bedside table. So I have to do multiple 45-degree cuts. I'm going to do it with the track saw because that's what I have, and I also know it and trust it. So I just need to like really think before every cut. I need to think, make sure it's the right direction, make sure everything is It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, 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 okay. So it's going to have like a little bit of a waterfall edge, but I'm not going to be so precious about it, like making sure this is exactly perfect, but it's going to be somewhat waterfall. So, kind of excited about that. Let's see. God, really? Not deep enough? Not deep enough. How frustrating. It's interesting because it's cutting all the way through here, but it's leaving like a lip in the middle, and then it's cutting all the way through there. I don't know why. Okay, I had to get a little crafty to make sure I can make this cut. In a perfect world, I could just take this sideways for these kind of cuts and cut this way. But as I said, this isn't my setup, so I'm kind of just trying to use the way it's set up. One day I can have my own and I can adjust things a little less janky than this, but it is what it is. Okay, okay, okay. Let's try this. Did not cut all the way again. That's so annoying. Just put this. So this is the issue, right? It just doesn't go all the way down, so it leaves you this lip, which isn't ideal because I'm joining these together, right? Can't have that. But hey, every cut's gonna be easier and I'm gonna learn more with every cut, so we continue. Okay, I'm gonna continue cutting away over here. I'll catch up with you when I have all the pieces cut, which will probably be tomorrow. I'll see you then. And of course, I had to drop it and it broke just as I was just testing everything to make sure it fits together. So I will glue this up and pretend this never happened. Okay, both boxes are cut and done and it feels great, which means I'm done with all the 45-degree angle cuts. I still have to cut out the drawer fronts and I have to cut out all the legs. This was the tricky bit, so I'm glad that it's done. Do a little mock-up. Let's see what it's gonna look like. Top, one side, other side like this. That's gonna be at the bottom. That's gonna go one in the front like so, and one in the back. I'm pretty happy with this. You know, this is a skill level up for sure. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So I'm going to be cutting the drawer fronts out from here, and then the legs here, plus two of them is going to be from one of these, probably this one. So this is the plan for the legs, right? So it actually is 3 pieces. These ones I'll be cutting out, you know, like this, out of here. These ones I'm planning to cut out of these pieces here on the sides, which should be enough. I need 4, so we're good. I'll have it planned. I think it's gonna work out. We should be fine. Start simple, drawer fronts, easy, and then go from there. Let's do this. We got 2 drawer fronts. We'll cut to size later. Okay, so let's start thinking about the legs and planning them out. The legs are going to be 40 centimeters long, and then the big side is going to be 7 and the small is 3.5. So what I want to do is first cut this down to be exactly 40. Once I have that, I'm going to measure 7 plus 3.5 on both sides, and then I'm going to cut that straight. And once I have that, I'm then going to do the diagonal cut, so from 3.5 on this side to 3.5 on that side. And then I'll have 2 matching legs from 1 square piece. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to cut the angle for the leg. The angle for this one is pretty much top corner to 6 centimeters down from here. So top corner here to 6 centimeters down here. did a little mock assembly and I realized that how I plan to have the two back pieces are just like front and the back. So this is the bottom. Because my legs are going to be attached to the side, I figured I don't need a very strong bottom. I just need something to keep it square. But I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this drawer, and I got inspired by the way that this drawer has been set up. This is a furniture piece I already have, and it's literally just sliding on the bottom. There's no drawer like sliders, there's no support except from the bottom of the drawer, and it has this little cool stop mechanism that keeps it from coming out all the way, and it's just simple and quite clever. And I've been umming and ahhing, and I think I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, or similarly to it, maybe not exactly the same. But I realized that if I have a drawer that's just sliding on the bottom, I don't have any bottom supports. They would literally slide here and then it would fall down in the hole. So I actually need to create a support on the bottom. So I have these pieces, which are from another piece of furniture, but it's also not cedar. It's also cherry wood, I believe. It's the same material. It's the one I use for the closet build, that table. So I have these pieces. So I'm going to put these in here in the middle. They are exactly the same thickness, which is amazing. I'm going to have to do the angles on the sides so it lines up with the bottom, like the 45, and then cut them to size so it fits in the middle. And then I'm probably just going to pocket screw these into these at the bottom, because you're never going to see that. And then the drawer should be able to just slide on these easily without falling down. Okay, so my head is a little bit all over the place right now, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the back, because I know I kind of need to know that before I glue everything together. It's so hard doing something for the first time. There's two different ways, well, three, but only two I'm contemplating. One is I make a groove in the back big enough for a 1/2 inch plywood sheet to kind of slot into and then nail that in. Or I just don't make a groove, like cut it to size to fit right inside and then pocket hole it in, like I've done with like my pantry drawer bottoms kind of thing. But this part of me that want to challenge myself to do this in a different way. Not only am I not wasting pocket hole screws, but also it's just gonna look a little neater if I get a groove and then slot the plywood in and then nail it in. I want to keep the back open until the end because I'm gonna need the access for doing things inside. So I don't want to do anything where I add the back during the glue up. So that's where I'm at. I think I've decided to do the slot because I've never done it before. I'm like, is that gonna mess up the glue up? Is it gonna make it harder? Is it not gonna matter? There's a lot of things where I'm just like nervous about the next step. Like, am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? I've never done this before, but I'm just gonna do it. And in the end, I kind of have something that looks okay. And if it wasn't a perfect execution because it's the first time, that's okay. I have to tell myself it's okay. So what I'm gonna do is cut a few slits about maybe a 1/2 inch down and 1/2 inch wide. And then I'm just gonna use my chisel to remove those little pieces. I'm really nervous. I did it. I did one. 1/2 inch ply would fit in, slot in like this, and then I can just literally nail like this through the ply into here. Just probably a little angle, to be honest, like one down and 7 to go. Yay. That was close. Everything is cut. Honestly, it went much faster and much easier than I built it up in my head. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Let me show you what it's gonna look like. It's so cool when you're like doing something for the first time and it kind of works out and you're like, oh, this is how it's done. So it'd be something like this, right? And it will just be flush. I think this is really cool. Yeah, it wasn't that hard. So I'm super excited about this. There's part of me that kind of wants to do this to the shelf, where I could technically make one of these slots, grind it out in advance, and then slide the shelf in, and that would be really nice. But I think today is not the day. Is it? I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Okay, so I couldn't get that idea out of my head, so I had to test it out. So there's a few problems, and it's why I want to try it out. So the first one is, so this is my drawer front, and this is like a side piece. I want the drawer to be inset like this, right? So it's on the inside of the 45-degree angle, and then I want the shelf to line up with that drawer. Therefore, if I would make similar track to this, I can't have it go all the way through. Because first of all, you would see it from the front, which would look really ugly, and the drawer front would be there. So I want the track to stop and the shelf kind of to have a natural stop where the drawer front will sit. I had to test and see if I could do that. I lined up made a line where the drawer front would be on this test piece, and I cut a slit stopping there, and then because the blade is curved, I chiseled out the piece that's kind of like angled at the end. So in theory, if this is the back of the table, you slide the shelf in from the back when it's already assembled, and then it goes to the front, and then I put the back piece on, and it can't go either way. It's kind of snug in there. So I think it's gonna work. I'm kind of excited about it. It does put me back because this means there's a lot of things I need to figure out. So I need to figure out the exact height that I want the drawers to be, because the drawer front will decide the height of the shelf, and I think it is just a little too high, which probably means I need to do a faux assembly of everything to get a good feeling for that. I need to cut all the grooves. I need to go upstairs to get the piece that I'm going to use for the shelf, to make sure that I know how thick it is, so I know how thick to cut the grooves. I probably won't do assembly today. That's pretty clear to me. I have a lot of thinking and planning to do, but at least it means that after assembly, when it's time to install the shelf, all I do is slide it in. That's it. I think this is a better solution. It's a kind of a neater solution, and I'm excited about it, and down the rabbit hole we go. You're such a fucking idiot. Oh, okay. So I've kind of done a dry fit, so you can kind of see what it's gonna look like. I've cut the grooves for the shelf. With this assembled, I can now measure the distance of how wide my shelf needs to be versus how deep my shelf needs to be. I have also sanded down this piece that I'm gonna cut the shelves out of, so it's all ready to go. It's so heavy. Also, this is upside down, so imagine it flipped around. So I think once I've cut this shelf out, I am good to assemble, because everything that has to do with the drawer, I can do when everything's assembled. All the measurements, everything. The shelf is cut, and look at this. I am so freaking proud. I can't believe I did this. This to me, it's just so wild. I know to someone this might be simple, but to me, this is a massive thing to do. I'm so proud. It's not ever going to be perfect. I'm not a furniture maker. I'm just a DIYer figuring things out. But like the steps I've taken to like up my skills on this project is massive. You know what this means? It's finally time to glue this up. Okay, now the tricky bit. Okay. It's harder when it's slippery, that's for sure. It's definitely sliding. Why is it so stressful? Why am I like shaking? This on so I can turn this around. Get this tight. Here. That's not bad. I'm not getting as much squeeze out as I would hope. It is squeezy though. Stressed. Okay, let's try to get as much glue out as possible. Okay. Some time has passed and I am going to release this. I'm still going to let it probably sit overnight before I mess with it too much. It's not falling apart. Hey, now look from your angle. It's not bad. That's not bad. It's doing the thing. Just for funsies, put the shelf in. This is dope. Okay. Okay. I don't think the shelf is perfectly level. I mean, it's probably pretty good-ish. So you can see down here and here, the bottom piece that I cut separately is sticking out. I am going to have to trim that. My plan is anyways to round off these corners with a router. I think that would just add a little like softness, little cuteness to them so they're not so boxy. But first, perfect paint stir stick. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. It kind of visually looks like it's together, but it is a little bit of a lip. I am obviously going to just soften these edges a little bit as well, because right now it's like, looks quite sharp. Let's measure and cut out the rest of the drawer box pieces, sides and back at least. The bottom will be plywood, so that will be later. So when I cut the shelves out, I math hard to make sure that the board, this one, would actually have enough to cut the back and the sides out for the drawers as well. This board right here is this, so I'm going to cut it in half. It'll be around just under 11 centimeters for the sides and the back, and then I just have to from there measure and then cut them into the pieces that I need. Okay, so I have my two sides cut and I laid it onto the drawer front and lined it up. What I need to do now is just measure in between these two. Whatever that measurement is the length or the width that I'm gonna cut the back piece to. And then we will have a drawer-ish without a drawer button. Without the drawer button? And then we'll have a drawer-ish without the drawer bottom, but everything else. So let's cut that piece. Okay, we got a box. It's a thick drawer. I'm here for it. I did just realize a mistake that I made, which is annoying, but it's not the whole world. The way I'm going to join the drawer front to the drawer sides is that I'm going to do a little groove and kind of have it go halfway in here, and then I'm just going to do glue and like nail. Since the nails are then going to go this way, you're not going to be able to like pull the drawer front off. It goes against the nail strength. But because I didn't account for that in my measurements, the depth of my drawer is now going to be that much shorter than I planned. We're talking like a centimeter. It's definitely not the whole world. It's just a little bit of a bummer because I was trying to get as much space in this drawer as possible. I will correct that mistake for this guy's drawer. I'll repeat this process on that one, and I'll catch you up from there. So a few things have happened off camera. I cut all the pieces for the drawers, and what I also did was make a few grooves. And you've already seen me make these, so I figured no need to show it again. Basically what I've done is, in the drawer front, I made on the inside a groove on the side and a groove along the bottom. What that means is that I can slot the side pieces into that groove like that, and from the side it will look kind of neat, but it also means that I can shoot nails in sideways like this. And the groove at the bottom is the groove for my bottom piece. So I've cut out the bottom pieces as well. They will perfectly snug up like this. The bottom I will glue in, nail in like this, and Bob's your uncle, I have a drawer. I'm pretty excited about it. I learned this new technique and now I'm using it on everything. So the drawers are cut with grooves. I've made the bottoms. I've also made the back pieces for the tables. That's gonna slot into the back. Same half-inch plywood that I have in here. I've also done some test stains. This is the cherry with just wax on it, so you can see how dark and how red cherry really is once you actually put the wax on. This is with a stain that has a little bit of a green undertone. It's called Provincial and has a little bit of a greenish undertone, which kind of just combats a little bit of the redness. Not much, but just a tiny bit. It makes it a little less orange and more, I don't know, darker red. This is the same technique as I used for my hallway bench and shelf, and I think I'm going to do the same for this one. I've also had to figure out how to match-ish the plywood, the pine plywood, to the cherry. I've done a few mixes of stain, and this is what I've landed on, which is my walnut and my cinnamon stain mixed up. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough because I don't want to buy anything new. So I'd rather just mix what I already have. I also done some tests for roundovers. I have a little roundover router bit. It's not as big or as wide as I want it to be. So my roundover is much smaller than I originally kind of envisioned it. But I do actually really like it. I think it's really nice, and I think it just softens it just enough. I'm going to round over all the corners of the actual table, as well as I'm going to round over the legs. Now my plan today was to start staining everything and then assemble, and then I remembered that I wanted to do the roundover, so I was like, oh, well actually I have to do the roundover first. And then I realized I want to do roundover on the legs as well, which meant that I actually have to assemble the legs before I can do the roundover, before I can sand, before I can stain. So that's the plan today. Glue up the legs, probably get to the roundover, and then we'll see. I'm so nervous that I'm gonna mess up this whole project. But here we go. Just gonna start with the bottom and hope for the best. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is everything. It's such a nice little finished detail. Gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I need to knock down this sharp edge a little. Just gonna do that by hand, and then I'm just going to sand them down, 320. I've done the insides already, so it's literally just the tops and around. Everything has been sanded, hand sanded, machine sanded. It's all smooth and really nice. It took a good few hours. I'm going to let the legs dry overnight fully, and then tomorrow, it's leg day. I'm going to sand them down. I'm going to router them. After the legs are done, I think we stain. I don't know if I'm going to get to it tomorrow. We'll see, but hopefully, maybe not. I'd probably be another, like, I don't know, 4 days before they're done. But you know what? It's moving along, and I'm really proud of how far I've gotten. And I can't wait for these to be done now. But I won't rush it. I'm going to pack up, I'm going to prep for tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. All the legs have been sanded smooth, so there's no like ridges anywhere. I also decided to cut the bottom angle now before I router it. They're all now exactly the same height, and they can all stand. You know, that's promising for legs, which means we've routed them. And yeah, let's just do it. This makes me so excited. Okay, I'm gonna do all 4 legs and then the outside, and I'll check in when I'm done. I've been sanding for what feels like hours. I mean, it's been hours, but it's been worth every second, because look at these. These are so pretty. Look at them. I am so proud of these. They are so soft. I can't believe that I made these and I designed these. I'm mind blown. I'm gonna call it quits for today because I'm tired, but I'm gonna sleep so well because I'm so proud of myself right now. So I'll see you tomorrow. The yellow sweater is on, and you know what that means? It's stain time. Everything's been stained and it's looking great. So what I have to do today is to assemble the drawers. I also ended up making some new pieces this morning. I realized because of the box kind of just being glued up, and with my design, the drawer is just going to be supported by the bottom of my table box. Imagine the miters being like this at the bottom. The likelihood of them kind of collapsing after time, falling off, the glue giving it away, is possible. So I needed to kind of figure out that problem. Now, another thing too is that I really like the look of these legs. I am so proud of them. So my initial idea of how to attach these legs to the table was actually getting walnut dowels and either screwing just from the outside and then covering up the screw hole with a walnut dowel, or doing the dowel all the way through, and it would be like this nice little contrast. But honestly, I don't love that idea anymore. I like the simplicity of them. I think it looks so good the way they are. So I came up with a solution that kind of solves both problems. So I have a bunch of these old IKEA bed slats. I mean, this one I've used when I stain, but they're real wood. They also have this really nice curve on the edge. So I thought, why don't I take these, cut them in half, attach this between the two legs, front and back, with pocket holes, and the table box sits on these. I can screw into the bottom of the table, and I have the support for the bottom, but I also have the legs attached. I really like this idea. I think this is a good solution. It has a nice roundness. I don't know if you're ever going to see them, but if you do, it looks like they're purposefully put there. I think it's going to be pretty good. These are also been stained. That happened this morning. So literally what I need to do today is put together the drawers, and once they're put together, I want to put the wax finish, the varnish on all the pieces, which will probably take me a day or two because they have to do the dry time, and then I just assemble them. I can't believe I can see the light end of the tunnel. We're gonna have matching side tables soon. I'm so excited. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm gonna use glue and nails. Of course there had to be one. It can never just go smoothly. I must have just angled it a little wrong. I try to always angle it this way, maybe I just didn't. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm also not gonna let that stop me from moving forward, so we carry on. Everything is varnished, and man, it looks so good. But I wish you guys could feel it because it feels so nice. So I done 3 coats on the top of the table, or the table in general, the drawer front and the shelf, and then the rest has gotten 2 coats. This drawer front unfortunately has this, I don't know, it's a stain or something that really showed up after the first coat of varnish. I'm not really sure where it came from. It's not great, it's unfortunate. That's pretty much where the knob's gonna be, so hopefully it'll be a little disguised. Okay, so I have double checked that the height is where I want to be. I was hoping for 50 centimeters from the top to the bottom, and that is where I got it. So I am good to proceed. So what I'm gonna do is get both legs up, and I have these pieces that are gonna go in the middle that I'm going to pocket hole screw into the both of the legs and then screw down into the base. And I have this perfect little spacer, so I just place it here and I can line up my leg to that one. Okay, one down. Looks good. Okay. Ah, this looks really cool. It looks really cool. I might just flip this around to see how it sits before I screw it into the base. It works. Oh my god. Guys, it's so cool. I'm gonna put this on the ground. Speechless. Let's attach this, and I will also do a second one, and then we'll put the shelf in, we'll nail the back in, and the last final touch will be to put the knob on the drawer. And I can't wait to show you what knob I'm going to use. Wow. Instantly much heavier with the shelf in. Are you seeing this? Oh my gosh. Let me show you the knobs. So this is an antique tarnished brass knob that I got at an antique store, and they are, I don't know, they're just perfection. They're so beautiful. The only thing is, these screws, I can't get them out. So I need to go upstairs and get some WD-40 and see if I can try to get these out, because I really want to use these, and it would be a bummer if I can't get the screws out. So let's hope that this is gonna help me out. Okay, I will let that sit for a few minutes. Yes, success. Let's see if this one will work. Yeah, boo. Magic. Magic. So beautiful. Naturally just tarnished, but you can see that it's brass. You have a little like brass peeking through right here too. Might see if I have a similar screw. Found two in my stash that fits and are longer too, because this drawer front is so thick. I might still need to cut them down a little. Okay, I marked my holes for where I need to drill the handle. I also add a little sacrificial board on the inside, so when you drill through, it doesn't like split out. Okay, so I have my drill block that makes me drill straight. With the drawer front being this thick, I think this is going to be quite necessary. Pretty sure that's through. Yeah. Clean hole. Oh my god. That is the biggest bite I've ever seen in my life. No. Nope, that's a big nope. Don't know where it went. Let's pretend that it disappeared forever. My heart's beating. Okay. Let's pretend it's gone. Oh my gosh, I love it. And with that, these tables are done.
so beautiful, always staring back at me. And I'm falling out of my body, cold, calm and clean.
I am beyond proud over how these turned out, not only like for the result, but also all the new skills I picked up and the challenges I put on myself while making these. I honestly can't believe I made them. My partner said the same thing. He's like, you made these? He's like, I would buy these. So he loves them, I love them. That's all I can ask for. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see them put into the bedroom, stay tuned for the next one where I will do a little refresh of our bedroom. Thank you so much for watching. Hej då!